Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of The Winters in Bloom, a novel, by Lisa Tucker, performed by Joyce Bean. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. T.S. Eliot, Little Gidding, 4 quartets. This book is for Judith and Greer, who convinced me I could write it, and for Laurie and Miles, who taught me that the story never ends. Part 1. 1. He was the only child in a house full of doubt. In bed each night, though it wasn't dark, the floor lights his father had installed, and it wasn't entirely private, the nursery monitor both parents refused to give up. He rehearsed the things he was certain of, using his fingers to number them. He was just a little boy, but he wouldn't allow himself to sleep until he'd gone through both hands twice. 20 was a good number, he thought, though of course it paled in comparison with the number of doubts, partly because his parents had had so many years to discover them, but mainly because the doubt list was always growing, towering above him like the giant boy at his old school, the one his father had called a bully. The giant boy, whose name was Paul, had never done anything to Michael, but his parents doubted that Michael could learn in such an environment and took him out of that school. The 3 schools that followed had led to 3 other doubts, and now Michael was finishing 1st grade in homeschool, even though homeschooling had its doubts too. "I doubt he'll get the socialization he needs," his mother said. "I doubt we can teach him laboratory science," his father said, "but we'll have to deal with that when the time comes." And then the words his parents didn't have to say, if the time comes, because the future was always the biggest doubt of all. "I will get bigger," Michael whispered it every night, holding up his thumb. Then he said, touching his index finger, "I will not die before I get to drive a car." He would force himself not to think of all the ways he could die, the hundreds of things his parents had told him all his life. He would also force himself not to daydream about what his first car would be like, because then he would fall asleep before he finished his counting and dream about rows and rows of shiny cars, all with headlights that looked like eyes and grills that looked like mouths. In the morning he was often very tired.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?